Hi there. Today we are making a masala for the recipe chana masala. And today we're only going to toast and grind the spices for that. And more spices and other ingredients will be added later in a second video when we make chana masala. But I wanted to show you just what a masala is. So a masala is a spice blend.
A splicing together of spices, yeah.
Oh yes, there you go. It is a spice blend. And so, for instance, in North America, what we call chai is actually chai masala, because it's not just tea, it's tea with a mixture of spices added to it. Garam Masala is a very famous kind of masala or spice mix, and garam means hot in Hindi, but it's not hot like spicy hot. It's it increases your internal temperature and your agni, your sacred fire in your gut.
We're all Ayurvedic on this now.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm not going to go too far down that road, but that's what it does. So it's hot because the spices that go in there raise your internal temperature, or that's what's believed in Ayurveda. So, and what we call curry powder in North America, and you need to know that there is absolutely no real thing called curry in India, and there's no curry powder. Every time someone makes a curry, it's a different blend of spices, and it varies from place to place, from household to household, from cook to cook. And what we call curry powder here once was probably someone's masala. And it's sort of become standardized in North America, that yellow stuff, and it's either hot or mild. I'm going to put below a recipe for both curry powder of the kind you're probably used to, but not store-bought, and garam masala. But today, the masala that we're making is for chana masala. And again, someone else's chana masala will be different. This is how we make our chana masala, but today we are only making the masala part of that. And the technique is exactly the same for all of the masalas. So, I mean, there are some variations. Sometimes people toast all the spices together. Today we're going to toast them one by one, making sure that none of them burn, none of them get too hot. When you toast them all together, it's possible that some get too hot because they have different
smoke points.
Smoke points with the essential oils that are in the spices, and that's what we're trying to bring out. So I'm going to turn a dry frying pan on to medium heat. And I'm going to start with coriander. So this is coriander seed, which is the same plant that cilantro is the green leaf of, and you'll find coriander in, it seems like most of the masalas. It's pretty important. And I'm just going to put it in the frying pan. And like I said, you don't want to put oil in the frying pan, you want it to be dry. What we're going to do is keep it moving, or not constantly, but you know, moving it every now and then, because we want to make sure that the spice doesn't burn. It's really important. You don't want that burnt flavor in there, but what the heat is doing is it's releasing the essential oils, and it's taking something that's dried and kind of bringing it back to life, for lack of a better term. Rob, I think you want to say something.
Well, no, you might want to turn it up a little teeny bit, otherwise
oh,
it'll
you're right.
It'll be a 20-minute video, you know.
That medium got a little low on me. This is the downside of a gas stove, is sometimes it's hard to tell. So, like I said, down below you're going to find recipes for a couple of other masalas. I may even include one for chai, actually, now that I think of it.
So the whole idea here is, you got to get your nose in there, right? And
that's
as soon as you start to
thing.
smell it a little bit, then that's when they're done.
And it's getting very close. I'm getting a bit of the, oh, I see we keep our spices, the ones we use a lot, in a messy tiffin like this. And what happens is, you can see occasionally other spices get mixed in there. So I'm seeing some seeds in with the coriander that are not coriander.
Should we start over?
No, we will not. Because they're actually the same seeds that are going to be in here.
Yeah, okay. I can smell it a bit.
Yeah, I think we're very close here. We are. Okay, so coriander has a slight citrusy smell to it. So now that I've got that citrus smell, I'm going to put that off into, be careful you don't burn yourself, into a bowl to cool. And then I'm going to put cumin. And we're going to do the same thing.
So cumin burns a little faster. That's
Yeah.
just one of the reasons why we do it separately.
And in fact, I just got the hit of cumin right there. That was really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a spatula here to help with that. Get those last little seeds. Because if you leave any behind, even just a couple, you'll burn them in the process of toasting your other spices. And that
Government
would,
policy, no cumin seed left behind.
very good policy. Thank you, Rob. Our next is fennel seed, which looks a lot like cumin, except, and caraway for that matter, but it is not. But it's green. It's got a pale green color to it. And wow, immediately, I'm getting that really nice fennel smell. And there we go. Your first, whatever it is probably going to take a little bit longer because you're heating up the pan with it, but it's also the size of the seed.
But I can guarantee you'll be blown away with the difference in the flavor of your curries, for lack of a better term, when you start making your own powders. It's just a huge difference.
Black peppercorns.
Black pepper, gotta like that. Gotta
We
like
love
that.
it. Oh, I see. We actually have a bit more cumin in there.
There
And
you
that's okay. Now, if you have dried spice, powdered spices that are going into your masala, and that does happen sometimes, where you want, say, something like turmeric for curry powder, the turmeric that we would use would be a powdered turmeric. You don't want to toast it.
No.
What will happen is you will burn it,
That's right.
and it will not be a nice flavor.
That's right. To err is cumin, to forgive is divine.
That's horrible.
That's
Please
really-
don't say that. So I can smell those, so it's time. Both the cumin and the black pepper there. So what I was saying is what you would do is you would toast all the other spices except for the turmeric, or say you didn't have cinnamon bark, you had cinnamon powdered, ground cinnamon. You would hold off on the cinnamon and the turmeric, and you would add those after you had ground your other spices, or you could throw them in the grinder together, but do not toast them, okay? Because you will burn them. So next here, I actually have 3 things in here. I have a couple of cardamom pods, those green pods there, and they're still in their pod. There are little black seeds inside. I have a couple of whole cloves, and I have one approximately 2-inch cinnamon stick that to crush it, we just put a knife on the side and gave it a thwack.
Solid whack.
And you can see it's come in splinters now. I'm going to put all 3 of those in together, the sweet spices. And I'm getting the cinnamon right off the top.
Smells fantastic.
And there we go, done. So all of that goes into a bowl to cool down. Gosh, that sure smells nice. Now, the thing is, we need to wait for that to cool down before we grind it. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break here, but as you know, we'll be back in mere moments for you. We'll see you then. So we're back, and it's been about 10 minutes. It probably didn't need to be that long. You really just want the spices to be cool to the touch, which they are now. And I cleaned this out earlier, our handy dandy spice grinder that's really a coffee grinder, and I cleaned it out using a piece of bread and then tossed the bread out afterwards into the compost.
We only use that for spices. We don't use that one for coffee.
Yeah, no, this one doesn't get used for coffee at all. And the spices we tend to grind are usually the same ones. It tends to be cumin, coriander, black pepper, fennel. So it's not a big deal if it's not absolutely spotless.
Martinis.
Have a look.
Oh, the drama. There we are.
Hey, I think I can go a little bit longer. What do you think?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's very close.
Okay. And it smells amazing. Okay. You're putting it in here.
Oh, okay.
So there is the masala for our version of chana masala. And the next video will be making chana masala now that this is done. We wanted to split it up because it is, you know,
It's a process.
it's a bit longer than some of my other videos, so I didn't want to inundate you with too much and have you be daunted. Please don't be daunted. You can make this and set it aside and make chana masala another day, and you can sprinkle it on all sorts of things, and it's very tasty.
And you can make a big jar and leave it sealed up there for a month or so.
You can. We sometimes do with our garam masala. We make a very large jar and then use it on various different curries that we're making.
It does smell amazing in here.
It does. It smells great. So we'll see you next when we make chana masala with the masala we just made.